Kait? Oh, my daughter. It's my daughter, and she is the third of 4 kids. She was born right here in this house. She came out madder than a hornet. She had a little bit of red hair, and she is something else. She's got a lot of substance to her that helps her propel her into trouble, but also to incredible heights. Yeah. So she's made of good stuff. She doesn't make the same mistake twice very often. She's awesome. She's gorgeous like I'm handsome. No. Most proud of her resilience and toughness and her love of the apple industry. My great-grandpa came out from Virginia in 1904, and long story short, he actually had some of the first orchard up around Wenatchee around 1910. So we've been in this business for a long time, and my dad loved orcharding, even though he was a medical doctor, and I love orcharding, and it's one of the few things I'm really good at. So to see Caitlin love the orchard and particularly selling fruit, that takes a lot of nerve to sell fruit. It really does, because you get a certain amount of rejection, and you have to engage the consumers and provide a good product. And she's done it ever since she was 15. She's just naturally good at it. So those are all things that I'm very, very proud of her. The industry has loved her. The industry supported her, the apple industry, to help her to go to college at Washington State University. And she's not wasting their efforts, their investment in her. And that's true, Kait.
I feel like I should be around for this.
Oh, no. Well, she's always been very, very interested in the orchard. Like, that's another great thing about her is, and this comes as a compliment, she almost is a nuisance because she wants to be with me everywhere, and she's always been that way ever since she was little. And so if I'm going on the four-wheeler, she wants to go with me. Well, a lot of times that's kind of inconvenient, and but what's a daddy gonna do, you know? And so therefore, as she gets into her teenage years, she knows a lot about what I'm doing because she's been with me, because she wanted to be with me. And I was the same way with my dad. And when you're with somebody, you really get to know them. You hear the same story 10 times, but you really get to know that story. And so I always noticed she wanted to be with me out in the orchard instead of somewhere else. She would choose me and the orchard. So
yeah. And isn't it so incredible where it's taken her with social media too? When she first started telling you about social media, what did you think about all of it?
Well, I think I was guided by my dad a lot, and Dad did the same with me and my sisters. They're both very, very successful. And when you see even just a little passion for something, you want to feed that passion in somebody and build it. And so I'm like, as a dad and as a single dad, I was like, I don't know where this is going, but you know what? I love her passion. And it was 500 followers. And then it was 1,000. And then we went back to the East Coast to a dear friend of mine, the CEO of Solen Fresh Marketing. He had no idea what Caitlin was like, but he knew me, and he wanted me to help promote Sugar Bee apples back on the East Coast. Well, I don't like traveling, so I said, take Caitlin, take Caitlin. And Katie says, Dad, go with me. Dad, go with me. And so I think you were 16 then. And I got to see her in the public setting, in corporate meetings, at Giant Foods, at sampling booths where we're seeing hundreds of consumers come by and take samples of sugar beet. And I saw her in action and I thought, wow, this girl has really got something special. And there's a magnetism that draws the public to her for some reason. And that takes a very special person that doesn't repel it or doesn't run and hide. She enjoys it. She smiles. She enjoys her day, and that's something that my grandpa, who was born in 1892, his father was a Civil War veteran, a wounded Civil War veteran. He got wounded. He fought for the North, got wounded in South Carolina, and survived under Confederate care. So my grandpa Roy was born in 1892. He told my dad, he only had a third grade education, but he told my dad, whatever you do in life, you better enjoy it because you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it. Now that's a third grade education, but that is some good, wise words of wisdom. She enjoys this, and it makes every day a big adventure. She already needs a secretary to take care of all the details because she wants to be out in front, forging a pathway, and then somebody has to take care of the details, and it's not going to be Dad. We need somebody to help her, and pretty soon she's going to need a helicopter because she needs to be in 4 places at the same time. And I'm serious about all of that. It's a true story. Well, it's a great question. My father, who I speak about a lot, he was combat infantry, World War II, and with the 3rd Infantry Division, the most decorated division of the war, and he was there from start to finish, one of the very few that was from the first D-Day landing in North Africa to Berchtesgaden, Hitler's Eagle's Nest. And he saw war-torn Europe, and he saw hungry people. And Europe after World War II was still hungry. And my mom and dad, who were a young couple, they would send things over to Europe, things that they particularly noted were soap, things that Europe couldn't get because they were recuperating from war. And you can tell it kind of affects me a little. But as a matter of national security, farmers, people that really know, like I don't know how to grow cattle. I wouldn't know 2 cents worth of knowledge on how to grow livestock. I can grow apples and pears. I'm not very good at cherries, but I can grow apples and pears. And that takes special people to feed this nation. We hear with the war in the Ukraine that Europe may face some fuel shortages, heating shortages, some food shortages this year. I hope our nation appreciates farmers because we take a lot of risk. I'm 5 years dry off alcohol. Part of that alcohol was just the risk. You gamble all your money, you pour it into your crop, and you just hope you get it back because we don't have a fixed market and our costs go up, and we just hope that the retailers will pay us what we need. And I don't like complainers. I love being a farmer, but we need to be paid for what we do and the risk we take and what we add to this nation. And I love our state of Washington. It is such an incredible state, and I'm so proud of Boeing, and I'm so proud of Microsoft, and I'm so proud of Amazon, and I'm so proud of our harbors, and I'm so proud of Kenworth trucks, made right there in Seattle. Proud of the Mariners and the Seahawks, and we grow more apples than the rest of the nation put together. Washington State grows more apples than the whole rest of the nation put together. We lead the nation in pear production. We lead the nation in cherry production. Those are things to be super proud of as the state of Washington, and what we add to the nation as a whole. I'm proud of the corn guys in Nebraska and Iowa, and I'm proud of the wheat guys down in the Palouse where you all go to college and university, I should say. And we just have a good thing going. So I just hope that the nation appreciates fruit growers and all agriculture, all farmers, all producers. During COVID, we learned you can't eat plastic. You need somebody to provide healthy food for the population, and I was really glad that they deemed us essential people, and we didn't experience any bondage like a lot of the nation did for too long, I might add. But they knew that they needed fruit, and the truckers are another one I appreciate. The people that move my fruit from, I can't eat it all, right? Even if I am a little chubby, I can't eat it all. So we need to, move that clear to the East Coast, and it takes thousands of semis and truck drivers, and those men and women driving the big rigs are heroes, underappreciated heroes. So I've taken our operation, and I had a really good wife too that built it with me. We went from 20 acres to over 400, and there's a lot of cost along the way. A lot of cost. But that's our backbone. And I'm very thankful that Prudential Insurance Company is financing us, and Umpqua Bank. That's another great thing about America is you have access to capital. That's a tremendous attribute to the United States and our economic system. So I built this thing, and it's still heavily leveraged, and it's and I'm worried about it, but that's our backbone. To preserve that, I would love to see Caitlin use that as a launching pad into the future. When we can, I'm all for expansion. Even when U.S. Bank pulled the plug, and they shouldn't have done that. U.S. Bank should not have done that. I only owed $5.5 million then. They pulled the plug. Prudential and Umpqua have loaned me $8 million. U.S. Bank did not need to do that, but they did. So they pulled the plug on my financing. We almost went broke. We almost lost the ranch. We came this close. Anybody that's been in special assets knows the hell that includes, but even during those times, I was all for. I even joked with some people. I said, "Let's buy the neighbor." I don't know what it is in me. I'm all for expansion, but I'm 59 years old, and I've kind of lived my generation, and I want to see this fresh. We love the big retailers. We love them. Walmart, Costco, Kroger. We love those people. They're essential to the food chain supply. But what Caitlin's done is we've always looked at the giant retailers as gatekeeper, because they were I don't have a very good vocabulary, they were the interface between the consumer and the producer. Caitlin has jumped that and is accessing the consumers direct. And I don't know how you make money from that. It's not like I'm greedy and want to make money. I just want to survive. I don't know how Caitlin can really make money, but one thing we can do is we get direct feedback from those consumers, how happy they are with the product, what they like, what they don't like, what they would like changed. We get that direct feedback. Caitlin's got 270,000 followers on TikTok and 70,000, and I know it's growing, 70,000 on Instagram. That's a lot of consumers that she can get feedback from. And so I look at her as this fresh, new exciting. We used to have to go get a TV advertisement that we couldn't afford, or radio advertising to reach the consumer. Katie can reach the consumer direct. And they love family farms. They want to support family farms. They would be glad to pay an extra $5 or $10 for a box of fruit to help the family farm. We've never had that direct. We've always had the large retailers would be the gatekeeper. And the large retailers understand how exciting it is too for the consumers to have direct access to the producer, which is a lot of what Caitlin's doing. So it's all fresh. Paul said in the Bible, he was like looking through a mirror darkly. It's like I look into the future. I don't know where it's going to go, but I love young people with their fresh ideas and their fresh energy and their fresh passion to do something else with it. Now, whether it's like Caitlin, who drives trucks, she drives big trucks. She is fearless. She could jump in a Kenworth truck that's made in Seattle or Peterbilt. I love Peterbilt. Load up at maybe 500 boxes and head to Salt Lake City and sell it direct to the consumers there. But at the same time, the old man, I need to protect the 400-acre launching pad. So I need to protect this and keep doing what I'm doing with my incredible team, and at the same time provide a launching pad for whatever but it has to make money, what she does, or it's just a drain. I mean, it could be a feel-good drain. We don't want that. We want a feel-good success, which is good for the consumer, good for Kait, and I'll protect this thing with kind of the old-fashioned ideas. Communication is huge. Like if I'm irritating Caitlin, she needs to tell me in a kind way. Yeah. And if she's irritating me or if I'm worried, like I was so proud of her last night. Very inconvenient. She had some boxes of fruit left over. She cared enough at 10 o'clock at night to go put that fruit under cover in a warm room so it wouldn't freeze. That care and that attention to detail, I want to applaud that. And then there's 100 other episodes like that she needs to be trained on, that we can't leave these things undone. We can't leave these things undone without hurting her feelings or making her feel uncomfortable. And so it's teamwork, and that's one of probably my strengths, is building teams, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, wondering what they're feeling, wondering about their anxiety, how to mitigate that anxiety, how to make their day the best day possible. Which means steering whichever employee or whichever person toward things that they love to do, and then giving them a thumbs up when they do the right thing, and gently steering them when they, the worst thing you can do is rattle somebody and make them fearful. And so it's the same way with Katie, and someone needs to be the boss. I've never had a business class, and here I'm running this big deal. I just run it by my heart. And the bank makes me look at some financial statements once in a while. I got a great team. I got a great administrator. I've got incredible people running all the farm worker housing. Rosie Bello runs that. She's bilingual, and a few years ago she was just cleaning the farm worker housing. Now she's in charge of it all, getting it certified, showing the inspector around, making the updates. She's in charge of all of our H2A program, which my dear wife, Dee, she got that started, bless her heart. It was a lot of work back in 2014, getting certified for H2A. You get the best people coming up out of Mexico. They make a lot of money here. They go back, it helps their families, but they're just top-notch people. I got a great lady that's in charge of all of our accounts payable and keeping things organized. I've got a tremendous crew leader. Remember, I'm small in the realm of the Washington State fruit industry. I'm big for around here, but I'm small overall. So we'll have 50, 55 employees. I got foremen that really, really care. A young man, Jason, who is my foreman, and he's got his CDL and he drives semi for me. And people that truly care, that they don't think every day for Geoff Thornton. They think for Bronze Star Incorporated and Blue and White Incorporated, our two companies, to help ensure their survival so that their jobs will continue. And so we need one boss, which will be me for a while. And when Katie's ready, she'll be the boss. She'll be the boss. And because of her passion and all that being hooked to my hip, everywhere I went, she would be with Dad and learning how we do things. And I had great mentors, and I hope that I'm a good mentor to her. I just wish y'all could have known my dad. Over 500 combat days, World War II. That guy, nothing would rattle him, nothing. I said, "This is sure a bad day." He said, "No, no one's trying to kill me today. This is a great day." And he had that attitude, and don't sweat the little things. And every day is precious. And I've learned a lot in the last 5 years of hard times. And I'm thankful to be surviving, and I'm thankful to be seeing my kids thriving. All 4 of my kids are thriving, and I'm very thankful for them. And they inspire me in turn, you know. And I've probably inspired them during some hard times. And so it's a win-win when you inspire each other and care about each other. And I love the young ones. I'm not quite ready to get turned loose yet, but I love seeing the young passion coming in.